welcome, whether you're online or whether you're here in person. Welcome to the Igniting Souls Fellowship. This month we have a very special guest. I'm so excited. We're going to be talking about the Firestarter Formula. And I've had a little bit of a glimpse into this, and you're in for a treat. So not only is this a formula that's going to help rejuvenate businesses and help people to get to a point that they haven't been to before, because it all involves people, and who are we selling and serving? People. Well, this gentleman has made such a difference in my business and in my life. This is somebody who you're going to get to hear from that has helped me be able to figure out some of the minor little details that I just couldn't figure out on my own. Oh my goodness. About how to be able to talk to people, how to be able to work with people, how to be able to bring them into my realm so that I can help them in a way that they're looking for help. Well, without further ado, I want to first, before we have our special speaker come up, I want to bring up our Chief Igniter, Kary Oberbrunner.
All right. Thank you. All right, good to see you guys. How you doing today? Awesome. Well, good stuff. I have one arm today, so don't mind me. It's all good. But David is going to give a fantastic talk today. And listen, this Firestarter Formula is really unbelievable. It actually changed my dream from a part-time passion into a full-time business. In fact, I want to talk to you guys real quick here about this. This was me back in 2004, and yes, even then I didn't have hair. So what's up with that, you know? But I had a dream, and this was my first engagement that I ever got asked to speak at from my first book, Journey Toward Relevance. And I had no clue what I was doing, honestly. I didn't know what to do at the end of my talk. I didn't know if I should say, hey, I'll be in the back to talk or to sign books. I just had no clue because I didn't grow up with a business mind. How many of you have never taken a business class in your life? Raise your hand. And by the way, I'm raising my hand, okay? So look, all of you are more qualified than me, a lot of you, right? I never took a business class. I never took a marketing class, but I had a big dream and a big passion, and that was to ignite souls. How many of you here today or online, how many of you have a dream? Let's hear it. Anybody? All right, I saw hands raised, but the people online can't hear you. So let's hear a little bit of applause here, right? You guys got a dream? Yeah. All right. So here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to turn to the person next to you, and if you're sitting alone, just you gotta quick move over and just say what your dream is. I would love for you just in one sentence to tell the person next to you what your dream is. And online, I would love for you to write in the comments what your dream is. Can you do that? Is it a speaker? Is it a coach? Is it an entrepreneur? Health coach in the back. What's your dream? What do you guys think? Got it? Online, Erica, as they're doing that, are people typing in what kind of dreams do we hear from other people as well? See anybody? Maybe you are a coach, speaker, trainer, entrepreneur. All right, you guys got it? I hear a lot of noise, which is good. Fantastic. Listen, my dream was to ignite souls. I knew that much. I knew that much in life, but I had no clue how to do it. Then I met a guy named David Branderhorst back in 2010, and literally within about 12 to 18 months, he helped this happen, okay? You see that? He helped this happen, called the Igniting Souls Tribe. Today we're all over the world. We have hundreds of certified coaches, speakers, and trainers in many, many different countries, and I call it the David difference, okay? So you guys might think that's pretty funny. But, and by the way, I want to encourage everybody, please share this as well, those of us who are online. Erica has a gift at the end for everybody who shares. So it's a brand new tool that we've created, a brand new resource. And after you share it, just type in the word shared, and Erica's going to actually give you that at the very end. So thank you very much. The point is this, folks. If you listen today to what David shares, I encourage you to get a pen. I encourage you to get a piece of paper. I encourage you to maybe get notes. What he's going to teach you is a formula. It's literally a formula for turning strangers into raving fans. Turning strangers into raving fans. Miranda, you're here today. I met you 72 hours ago. You were a stranger, right? And now, I don't know if you're a raving fan, but at least you're here. And you jumped into one of our programs. Now, did that happen by accident? In fact, Miranda, you're in the back. Out of that group of 100 that I spoke to on Saturday, do you know how many people jumped in and joined the coaching program?
I do.
How many?
50.
50. Guys, that's rare that when you speak to a group, half the room says, sign me up for your coaching program. Because it costs money, it costs time, but these people, they found it on Saturday. That wasn't by accident. What David's going to share with you today is called the Firestarter Formula, and is a formula for turning strangers into raving fans. I want you to think for a moment, what if you knew a formula? Rick, whose book is coming out, Pitch with Purpose. All right, it's coming out soon. You know, I look at Jeff. Jeff's got a new class coming up for blogging, right? Imagine if you could take this formula today and take strangers into raving fans. Would that change your influence, your impact, and your income? All right, so you guys ready to give David a warm welcome? He's going to share the David difference. He doesn't call it that. I call it that. But I'll share this. I'll say not BC before Christ, because that, you know, Jesus is my Lord and Savior. But BD, before David, the business, and then AD after David. Okay, so David, come on up and share. Let's give him a hand.
All right, thanks, Kary. Well, excited to be here today. Excited to share something that I love, which is helping people grow their online businesses. Helping people take the dream, take the idea that they have in their own hearts, the thing that they feel God has given them, and get it out. Get it out of them, get it into the world, help them influence people, help them impact the world and change it for the better. That's what gets me excited, and that's why I love sharing this kind of stuff with people, because I start to see it work its way out, and I start to see people be able to get their message out into the world. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started, because we should jump right into it. First thing you got to understand is today the opportunity that you have in front of you is unlike really any other in all of our history. What we have in front of us was what Kary and I like to call the digital gold rush. Okay, back in 1849, people bustled out to California to try and jump in to mine for gold, because there was this huge opportunity to create wealth in a short period of time. What you have laid out in front of you today are tools, resources, and opportunities unlike any other point in history. The things that you can do now as an individual from the comfort of your own home are things that were only available to large corporations just 10 to 20 years ago. The opportunities that you have, the training, the resources, the things that have been laid out in front of you, it is a wide open highway. And we want you to be able to take advantage of that. We want you to be able to jump on this and to be able to take this opportunity and run with it and make the most of it, because it really is there. It's really laid out in front of you, okay? We're going to show you how to get in the game, and if you follow these steps, if you follow the steps that we're going to go through today, you're going to have a good plan and a good framework that's going to take you right down the path that you need to go to be able to do what you need to do to launch a successful business, because businesses that are successful are not lucky. They're not there by accident. They're not there just because some fortunate set of circumstances happened to shine upon them. They had a good plan, and they had a good structure laid out for themselves. And because they followed that structure and they knew how to work the customer relationship process, they had success. And if you learn this process, you will start to see that business after business out there, regardless of what kind of business it is, employs this strategy. Okay? They are employing it. I don't care what you're selling, what industry you're in, they employ some version of this in their own business. If you pay attention, you watch them closely. Okay? Success in business hinges really on three things. Okay, first of all, you have to attract the right people. Kary mentioned a little bit ago that he had an amazing speaking experience last weekend, which he blew me away when he gave me the results of it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And the first words out of my mouth were, you were in front of the right audience. That was the first thing I said. You had to have been in front of the right group of people. I don't care how good your service is. I don't care how good your product is, how hard you work at serving your customers. If you're talking to the wrong audience, you're not going to get traction. You're not going to have success. You have to attract the right people to you if you have any choice or any chance whatsoever of getting clients. Okay? If you are selling women's clothes to a room full of men, it's going to be a rough sledding for you. Okay? But I know that seems silly, but too often we take our message out and we just spread it indiscriminately across the world, and we aren't thinking that the majority of the world is not our market. We have to understand who our ideal client really is and target those people so that we can speak to the people who want to hear what we have to say. Secondly, you need to start the people that are these right people on a buyer's journey. Too often we forget, and I see this mistake all the time. People jump in, and the first thing they want to do is they want to start off asking for a sale. I see it all the time. The very first step is, hey, nice to meet you. I have this program, I have this product, I have this service. You're starting with an ask, okay? That's not how you build a customer relationship. The very first thing you have to do is give, okay? This is like any other relationship. These people don't know you yet. They aren't familiar with you yet. They're just getting to know who you are, what you're about, and they don't have any type of connection with you. Give to them first. Support them. Help them. Help them create belief and connection that you can help them with their problems and the things that they're challenged with right now in their life. When you do that, you can then start to move your customers from this entry-level point where they're just getting to know you, where they're just getting to understand who you are, down a buyer's journey where they start to move into products that are more expensive and more profitable to you, okay? It's a laid out process. This stuff doesn't happen by accident. You have to create a pathway for your customers to follow on purpose. This is on you. This is your job. This is your job as the marketer, as the business owner, as the entrepreneur, to create a pathway for your customers to follow. Everybody with me so far? Okay, good. All right, to do this, you need to implement what we call the Firestarter Formula. Again, this is our way of doing it. This is our way of implementing it. It's true in business everywhere around the world, okay? But this is how we implement it. Okay, the Firestarter Formula is your predetermined pathway that your clients are going to follow. Again, lay it out there. Help your clients understand what's the next step. How do I first get to meet you? How do I then get to know more about you? How do I start to engage with you with your products and services? And then how do I grow into someone that'll buy almost everything because you're helping me so much? Okay? Lay out that pathway. And when you're laying out the pathway, it's very important that you design this pathway with an ultimate outcome for your clients. Okay? What is it that you're ultimately trying to help them with? You need to have that clearly defined in your own mind. You need to have it very well understood so that you can say, I want to help you solve this problem. This is the issue that I want to help you with. This is how I want to help serve you and make your life better. Okay? You need to know where you're going so that your pathway is consistent and logical and flows along a straight line. If you're going down a pathway where it's jumping from idea to idea, they don't know how to follow. You have to have a big idea that they're going to be able to follow you and walk down the pathway of. Okay? Now, simply put, if you want to look at it in graphical format, you can see that a Firestarter formula really is just a simple line graph where you have price on one side and value on the other. Now, when you're looking at this pathway that you're going to take them down, it's the overall arc that you want your customer to take. Okay? You're going to start off at the bottom where there's lower price and a little bit lesser value, but you're still giving them help, and move them up the curve so that they're spending more money, but they're also getting more value from you, okay? This is the general direction that we are taking people down. This is how we want to lead people. Now, you can also look at it in the stair-step format, and I want you to notice where the first step is. The first step in this process is value, you're giving, price, you're not charging, okay? That's a very important first step, because the customer, the person who's cold, the person who does not yet have a relationship with you, the person that doesn't have any experience with you, they don't know what to think. Can I trust you? Are you going to be able to help me? Are you truly going to be able to improve my life? They don't know the answer. The answer may be 100% yes, but they don't know yet. They do not have that answer. So before you ask for anything, you need to give first. You need to give free resources, free training. This is why content marketing is so powerful. You can give knowledge. You can give help. You got to get out there and give to people so that people say, whoa, you're really helping me. This is so useful. You're making a difference in my life. What else do you have? Do you see how that next question automatically starts popping up in their mind? But it doesn't start unless you start this relationship with this prospect by giving first. Do not ask for anything in return. Give, give, give on the front end. As you then move in, you start to develop a spark. Okay, this freebie that you're given a spark, and this is where we come up with a fire starter, okay? You're sparking that relationship. You're starting to get them interested in you, starting to get them interested in what you can do, how you can help them, how you can serve them, okay? As you build the relationship, you're starting to turn this into more of a flame. These people are saying, well, what else do you have? How else, what other products, services, programs do you have that you can help me with? I want to know what else you got, because that last thing was so good. And then eventually you hit the point where these people love what you do so much that it turns into a blaze, and these people almost buy without thinking. These are buyers that are hot. They know they have gotten so much value out of everything that you've done in the past that they will stop and just say, yes, I want that too, because you've changed my life. Okay? This is the journey, and you can get there without any question. Okay? Examples of sparks, lead magnets. Can you give a free PDF, a free video training? Can you do a webinar? Can you give something of value, a blog post? What can you give to people that's going to help them with their need? Establish your connection, establish your credibility with them. And then you can take them up to something like a training program. Now this level is things that you want to be able to deliver on an ongoing, regular basis, okay? These are things that you need to be able to deliver in a routine manner, okay? And then eventually, you do things like individual consulting, where things become much more customized. Okay, the experience that you're giving your customer is much more detailed. It's much more customized to their needs. It's much more about their individual situation. You're not giving them a standard product or program. You're spending time working with them on their individual situation. And for that, because the time is now much more intensive, the rate goes up. Make sense? You're starting them with free resources, you're giving them help along the way, and then eventually you're creating more of a customized service for them at the top. Okay? Now, examples of what is a spark. Spark is your initial contact point where strangers go to interact with you and your brand. Okay? People got to start somewhere. You got to understand there's 7 billion people in the world, and 99% of them don't know you. Unless you're a large corporation already, okay? You have to introduce yourself. You have to say, hello world, here I am, and this is how I can help you. This is your contact point. This is where you're going to create your connection, okay? And this is where you're going to create a high perceived value at low to no cost to them. Give them things that are helpful to them, and do it in such a way that they're not going to have to take a step of faith yet, okay? Give it to them freely, so that they can just easily take what you have, get benefit out of it, and become your fans. And lastly, you use it to spread your brand awareness and generate leads. Okay? This is a huge, huge part of all your marketing efforts. This is where a huge percentage of all your efforts, once you get things built and once you get things rolling, this is going to be a huge focus for you. Filling the front end of the funnel. Filling the front end of where people are going to be coming in as leads, where people are going to come in as contacts and get introduced to you and your brand. Okay? Huge. Okay. Some rules for creating them. One, you want to make sure it's low cost, because you're going to be giving away these things like candy. Okay? Make sure that you're going to be able to deliver this in a very cheap or economical way. Two, it needs to have high perceived value in the eyes of the customer or in the eyes of the prospect. Okay? That person on the other side of this transaction needs to look at it and say, that's something I really need. It needs to be highly relevant to your target audience. It has to be easily provided. These are things, that's why you see so many free training videos, free PDFs, free webinars. These are things that you can provide en masse to lots of people, to provide a lot of help, to a lot of services in an easily leveraged and easily provided away. It's not like every single time I have to give the freebie, I have to actually be there to hand it to you. If you do that, you're going to hurt yourself and seriously constrict what you're able to provide. Leverageable. This is where I'm talking about how you need to be able to take this and leverage it, and what's your next step. Your initial entry point always needs to be highly related to the next step. Okay? What's your next thing that you would like this customer to do? Answer that question first, then you know how to create your initial lead magnet. A lot of times what you can do is if you have a training course, a product, a program, splinter off a piece of it. Take one element and turn it into a lead magnet of some sort. Okay? Make sure that you have a way that you can turn it into something that's highly relatable and leverages right logically into that next step. Everybody with me so far? Tracking? Okay? And then you want to make sure that this solves one problem. Okay? Too often I see people that create a wonderful lead magnet, but it's 50, 100 pages long. And it solves all sorts of problems and addresses all sorts of issues. Well, what's going to happen to that person? They're going to look at it and say, gulp, I just got a book. This is going to take a while to sort through. And so they set it aside because it's too much. It's too much to consume in one sitting because it's just going to take a long time to work through it all. So they never take the next step because they got stuck on step one because there's too much there. Now you can say I'm being very helpful to people, you're right, but break those into individual components. Okay? Don't lump it all into one because you'll overwhelm the person. Make your initial entry point something you can provide help, something you can provide service with that solves one problem at a time. So that they can get a look at it, they can consume it, they can go through it easily, and they can get a win quickly. Your goal for this is to get these people a quick win. Okay? If they get a quick win, they will then say, wow, that impacted me. That changed my life. That's what you're after. So make it simple, succinct, and direct. All right, let's go on. Some examples. Free ebooks or even books. We have different things where you can go on. For example, we have Kary's Elixir book you can get for free if you just cover the shipping costs. So we can provide that at cost. You can give that away for free to get people started and introduced to the content. Blog posts are another good example of things that you could do. Okay, webinars. All of this is free training, free things that you can provide that are highly leverageable, that you can get to people's hands, that you can get out there for people and to get into their hands to help them, to serve them, to benefit them quickly and easily. Podcasts, another great tool. Okay, another one where you can get your content out there, get people introduced to you and your brand. Okay, and again, just whatever you create, make sure it points in the direction of your final offer. Whatever it is that you're leading people to, whatever it is that you want people to eventually buy, this needs to be pointing in that direction. Okay, don't put a lead magnet or a free resource out there that is talking about socks when eventually you want to lead people down a program that's going to help them to find their purpose. Those two are not related. Okay, they need to be pointing and they need to be in the same vein and pointing in the same direction. Okay, so from the customer's perspective, they're starting in their interaction with you on the free level. They're starting getting a blog post, a podcast, a webinar. They're getting introduced to you. They're creating connection with you. They're getting value from you. And then the next step in the journey is to introduce them to a core offer, okay, or the flame. Now you're starting to warm up their relationship a little bit and offering them a chance to take the next step with you, to take the next part of the journey. What is a flame? Okay, this is a product or service that's more of a moderate price point. Okay, it's not a profit maximizer. This is not where you're going to make a lot of money. Okay, the very initial front end of your business always has to be focused on gaining customers. I don't care if you gain customers at this level. In fact, you probably should make that your goal, to gain customers at this level at break even. If the product you're selling is $100 and it costs you $100 to get a customer, okay, good. Because then you can acquire new customers all day long at cost, and you can roll and roll and roll and keep bringing more and more in. Okay? Your goal here isn't to make lots of money. Your goal here is to get people to be your clients, to get them into your tribe, to get them into your world, okay, and get them to receive value from you. It needs to be the logical next step from whatever it was their original entry point is. Again, it needs to make sense. I did this. Well, if I'm having problems with this, I'm probably also needing help with that, okay? Logical next step. And it needs to be a reasonable price jump. so that you're not asking somebody to go from 0 to 100 on the relationship scale, making it a financial investment here. Okay, you want this to be reasonable. So that and again, it all depends on your industry, all depends on the business that you're in, what that actually looks like and what that actually means. Totally different for different businesses. But there needs to be a reasonable price jump there so you have something there that they can say, okay, I'm learning to trust you, I'm learning to like you, I'm learning to develop a relationship with you. I'm willing to try it at this level and see how it goes. Okay, so build that in. Some examples, a training course. Again, this is something that if you have a course that you're creating and it's something that people can go in and they can watch videos and get PDFs and different things for your training course, this is a great way to do it. Because people can hop in and they can do it and you can sell a bunch of these things. You can get people into a whole bunch of these things and you can provide these in a very routine and ongoing way. A routine service. An example of this can even be like a dentist's office. You ever see dentists, they have a teeth cleaning, and they have you come in every 6 months to get your teeth cleaned. Okay, that's a routine service. That's not the most profit that they're going to make. What happens is they make their profit in, oh, you need dental surgery, or you need something additional, you need braces, you need whatever. That's where their profit maximizer is, okay? They will bring you in with a free teeth cleaning, then set you up for every 6 months to get the ongoing routine service. Then they will eventually, at some point in time, you'll have something additional you need done. That's where they're going to make their money. You see how it flows even in that world? Same process. This is exactly what businesses all over are doing, okay? Physical product. Ever go into a store, you buy a product, for example, at an electronics store, okay? You buy the product, Best Buy, for example, you buy a TV, you buy a computer. They're not making a ton of money on those products. So what is the thing that they're always trying to bring you to? Would you like to buy an extended warranty on that? That is high margin profit for them, okay? But they get you into the process with an ad, with a coupon, something to get you into the store, to bring you in, to get you to buy the product, which is the next step, and then they try and upsell you on the thing that makes the money, okay? They're making a little bit of money here, but not a ton. Or an experience. Like to do laser tag with their friends. It's one of the things they like to go shoot each other with laser tag guns. And I realize that when you're 6'4", it sucks because you're an easy target. They like to have me there so they can shoot me and kill me immediately. It's like, there's no place to hide when you're my size. When you're this size, there's lots of places to hide. Me, I'm dead immediately, and I'm like, you guys suck. So, when you do that, what they then do is they bring you in and they say, oh, have a party here. And it wasn't that expensive for me to go with my sons, but wait till you have a birthday party. And you have about 15 of them, and you get the bill, and you go, you? Hello. But that's the process. This is an experience, an ongoing routine thing. They bring you in with a coupon, with a flyer, get you to introduce them to the business. They bring you in for an experience that you can have. You can have fun. You can do a routine thing. They run you through the cycle. You can enjoy whatever it is that they offer, and then they upsell you on bigger things from there. Okay? So the customer now is going from a blog post or something free that they're getting engaged with you. Now they're jumped to the level where they're starting to get warmed up. They're buying an initial level of product, and then eventually you take them to the point where they get on fire, and they're investing a lot more money in what you're doing. And this is where you have your profit generator. This is where your business makes money. All right, so this is a much higher price point, okay? This is where you're making the money to pay for all the stuff on the front end, okay? Because on the front end, you're just trying to essentially break even. And many people look at you and go, why would I do that? Why would I run a business and work so hard and do all this stuff if I'm not going to get paid anything? Well, because you've got to get people in to get them to this point. You understand? If you don't start the relationship here, if you don't bring people in at a certain point, and you don't develop that relationship, and you serve them and help them and get them to a certain level, we'll never come here. This is the journey. So that's why most people have to understand that if you want to run a successful business, you have to have the flow. You have to have that relationship process where people are going down, they're coming through this journey with you, you're investing in the relationship, and eventually they come to this point where they're spending more money. And now, granted, they're getting a lot more value out of it, okay? If you're doing one-on-one consulting with someone at this level, they're getting a lot more value out of it from you, okay? Because you are literally going and spending time one-on-one with them, with their issues, with their concerns, with the things that they need help with. This isn't a course where they're just watching a video. You're dealing with them directly, okay? So it's very customized. The service is much more touch, high touch, and it's designed for the ultimate result. When I said earlier, when you think about what is it that you want your customers to get, what is the ultimate benefit you want your customers to engage in and receive, this is the top end, okay? When you're thinking through that process, this is the top end of that process. What, if I had my absolute ideal customer, what kind of life change would I like to see for them? Here's where your peak is. This is the top end of the pile where you would take people to that they would get the ultimate result for it, okay? All right, some examples. One-on-one consulting, as I've said earlier. A live event can be something that's very customized, an exclusive live event where only a certain group of people get in. Again, I mentioned a product or warranty. An installation, you go to an electronics store, you buy the TV, and what do they say? Would you like us to come and install it for you, to hang it on your wall? Would you like a warranty on it? That's the additional service over on top where they're actually making the most money. It's customized service because they're doing something specific for you rather than you just grabbing it off the shelf and putting it in your cart, okay? Or an exclusive experience. Mastermind groups, great example of this. It's where you get a small group of people together in a closed setting. You're working with people in a much more intimate way, but the fee goes up because now you're working with a very small group of people and it has to be more worth your time, okay? So, how do you build your own Firestarter formula? Now that we've looked at it from the customer's point of view, how do you build it from your end? Now, every marketing campaign starts with what we call the big idea, okay? What do I mean by the big idea? It is the ultimate outcome you want your client to experience, okay? You need to struggle with this. You need to develop it. You need to understand it, and you need to make it crystal clear, okay? Whatever it is that you're going to offer to that customer, it needs to be super clear so that when the customer who doesn't know anything about what you do sees it and looks at it, they go, oh, you can do that for me? That would seriously change my life if I had that result, okay? But you have to understand very clearly what that big idea is behind what you're offering, behind what you're doing, okay? So, first and foremost, the first thing you need to consider when you're looking at this is what are the emotional benefits of what they're going to experience, okay? Now, I don't mean to oversimplify this, but every purchase transaction involves this. You see the guy on the left? How does he look? He doesn't look too happy, does he? Okay? Everything that you do, everything that you offer, everything you give to people, you're taking them from one emotional state to a better emotional state. You may not realize it, but if you have a car and you want to trade in your car to get a different car, and the car that you have is not running well, that's usually one of the reasons why you go trade it in, because you're having problems with it, right? Your existing car, it's giving you headaches. So it may not run well, it may be breaking down, it may not be reliable. Okay, so what is that doing to you? It's making you frustrated. It's making you stressed because you're not getting to where you need to be on time. It's making you tense. It's making you angry or unhappy. Those are all emotional states. You understand? I don't care if it's going out to dinner. You're going to look at that dinner menu and say, oh, that would make me feel so good if I had that meal. Every buying experience starts with taking someone from a certain emotional state to a different emotional state. Okay? If you buy the new car, that person is looking at that car saying, oh, I would just feel so cool driving this thing. This would be awesome. What are they talking about? Their emotions. The car is just the vehicle that transfers them from a negative state to a positive state. Well, how is your product, how is your service going to do the same thing? So let's pause here for example. Somebody give me an example of something that they have. Give me an example of something that you're developing. A product.
My book is on comparison.
Comparison. Okay, so what is it that you're helping people with?
I'm helping people to take control over comparison so they no longer have to give it the control over them.
Okay, so what is the state that people are starting with if they're struggling with comparing themselves to everyone else?
I was writing down things like frustration, jealousy, stalling out,
Okay,
giving up.
okay. So where would they be if they learned to overcome that?
They'll be in a place of freedom, of ability to do the things they want to do, and freedom to be in a room and not be distracted.
See how all those things are mental and emotional states? Everything she described. Great job. But this is what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter what you're offering. If it's a product or a service, we buy everything based on where am I at now to where would I be if I had this. It's all up here in our mind and in our heart and our emotions. That's where we drive everything, because we look at this and say, I need that. Because my life would go from here to here, from a negative place to a positive place. You, as the person offering a product or service, needs to understand that. And when you position your offer, you need to clearly identify and state, this is your target market. These are the emotional states that my current prospects are in, the negative ones. And this is what I'm offering to take you to. Okay? Now, once you have that, then you provide logical reasons for them to buy. Once you get them to understand how you will take them from this place to this place, now you need to back it up with logic. A, is it affordable? B, can I make the payments work if I need to do payments? Do you have good terms? B or C, am I going to feel, is this a logical step for me, for my life, for my situation? You need to now provide the logic after that. After you've gotten them to see the emotional benefit, you provide logical reasons to make the transaction possible. Make sense? Okay. Then, all of this needs to be wrapped around what is your unique system for delivering this. Okay? Everything you do, somebody's going to say, I've seen that before. I know, I've seen somebody else say that before. I've seen somebody else do that before. Yeah, I've tried that. The thing that's going to allow you to succeed is you have to have a unique system that separates you from everyone else's stuff. What is that special ingredient, special process, special experience that you provide that they don't get anywhere else? What is it? When we did our core programs, when we did the Deeper Path cohort, when you take the Deeper Path cohort, that process and that program helps you learn how to discover your purpose in life. Okay? There's a lot of programs that do that. We are not the only one out there that does that. But we are the only one that offers it in such a way where you get to discover your purpose by authoring your opus. If you want to go through a process and author your opus and understand how that opus is going to unlock this for you and clarify it all for you, then this is the product for you. You understand? If you want to discover who you are and discover your identity, we have a program that's there that helps you discover your secret name, who God created you to be. You understand how there's a very unique system, a unique process. Yes, there's other programs out there that help you show who am I and who am I called to be in life, but there's only one that has it, that you go through and discover your secret name to understand who you are. There's a unique system and unique process. You have to go through your system, your process, and understand, what is it that I offer that they only get here? And don't overthink it. Sometimes people think, well, I don't know what else to say. Don't make it too hard. Think so many times when people do this, they're creating a product or a program off of their own experiences. In fact, most times when a business is founded and when a business is formed, it's done so because of a pain point in their life. Somebody struggled with a certain health problem, and now this entrepreneur is going to build something that's going to help people who have that health problem. Happens all the time. That people had this issue in their life, and because I had that, I went through this struggle, I went through this process, and now I'm going to create a program that shows people, or a process or a product that helps people go through this too. And when you went through that struggle, what was it that you learned? What was your process? What were the steps that you went through, that you journeyed through to get to your result? That's your unique process. And you need to learn how to package it, present it, and market it. You know how to label it, how to identify it, how to put it out there in such a way that people are going to say, whoa, I can only get that from you. And you need to clearly state, why does it matter? Why does it matter that you have this unique step, this unique process, this unique flow of doing things? You need to show them that this is the thing that they're missing that's keeping them from getting success in this area of their life. You need to show that that missing ingredient that's only available from you and through you is the thing that's keeping them from success. You do that, you have customers all day long. That's how you can unlock it. That's how you can lead people. That's how you can get people to engage with you and buy your product or service. Okay. Now, when you're building your marketing campaign, you want to do it in the following sequence. I showed you the flow from the customer standpoint. When you build it from your standpoint, you want to do it this way. Step 1, build your flame or your core offer. Okay. Identify the core service, the core product that you want to offer people first. Make that clear because you need something to point to, okay? You just don't want to offer a whole bunch of lead magnets and sparks out there and then not know where you're going to take them next. Have your core offer built first. Step number 2, develop multiple sparks, okay? When I say that, what I'm talking about is you want to have, this is your core offer, and as you build your business, you get over time, you'll have multiple core offers, but start with your first one. But then you want to develop as many entry points, all pointing to that core offer as you can. As many sparks, as many inroads that lead all to that core offer, all at the same time. Build a bunch. As many ways as you can think of to lead people there. Because this is going to introduce people to you and your brand, and it's going to create connection and build goodwill. I cannot emphasize the importance of that enough. Building connection with people so that they learn to know, like, and trust you, and creating goodwill. Because so many, who do you buy from? A, you buy from people you know, like, and trust. B, you buy from people who have done good things for you in the past. How many times have you said, if I'm going to give my business to someone, I'm going to give it to that person because they've helped me a bunch in the past? It's called goodwill. If you want people to say, I want to buy from you because of what you've given me already, you got to give on the front end. You give on the front end, you built all this goodwill up. These people are saying, oh, if I want to find something to help me with this issue in my life, I'm going with the person that's already given me a bunch of help. Okay? That's how you lead them in. Then you got to promote your lead magnets. Don't just throw them out there and say, okay, well, there they are. No. You got to share them. You got to get them out there. You got to advertise them. You got to market them. You got to promote them. You got to get these things out in the world so people can start the journey with you. So people can start walking down this path and they can start going down this process with you. You've got to get it out there. You can't just assume that because you put it on your website, the world is going to find it. There's a million websites out there. You got to get out yours, got to get the word out about it. And then step 3, you need to build your blaze. At the end of it all, this is where you build your premium offer, okay? Because first you got to get people into your core offer, whatever that is. Once you get people into the core offer, now is when you can lead them up to the next step of creating a premium offer, which is more customized. So no need to do that until you get people flowing into your core offers on a regular basis. Make sense? Tracking with me? All right, now was this process helpful to you? Help clarify some things? Do you see how this is a journey? That you are as a marketer, as you as a business owner, you're responsible for leading people down a pathway. You're responsible for leading people through a process whereby they start the relationship with you, they start to develop a deeper relationship with you, until eventually they become so excited about doing business with you that they can't wait to buy something else. Okay, this is the journey. How it works for you is you think about what you're offering, what you're doing, and you lead people down this pathway. Okay? Now, what if you had access to this type of training and support all year long? Would that make a difference in your business? If you had help and support to lead you and guide you down this process all year long. Now, would it allow you to create freedom, to live as you please, on your own terms, to focus on what's meaningful to you? If you were able to be your own boss, if you were able to take control of your own calendar, if you were able to stop working for everyone else and be able to live on your own terms. and be able to spend your days doing what you want to do instead of what you have to do? Because that's what life's about, right? Life's about being able to live life on your terms, being able to do it in such a way that you're fulfilling the calling that you feel in your heart and your life and not fulfilling someone else's. Okay? What a difference would it make if you were able to create finances to take that dream vacation you wanted? To get a new car or break free of your day job? To level up your business if you already have a business that's started? To level it up to a much higher level? To pay off all your debts? Or to even support a cause that's near to your heart? What if you had the resources that you could get behind a cause that means so much to you and really rally behind it and support it? What kind of a difference would that be? Or even leave a legacy if you have children. To leave a legacy to those that you care about, something behind that you can leave for them that they can be cared for when you're even no longer here to care for them. What kind of fulfillment would you have if you're able to do meaningful work that's close to your heart? How would your life be if you were to change the lives of those around you and be able to impact them and not just sit at a desk all day and move papers from one side to the other? What kind of a difference would your life be if you were able to experience that? And what if you were able to work on your passion instead of someone else's? What if you were able to spend your day doing the things that are in your heart instead of doing the things that you're told that you need to do for someone else? Creating a life like this is possible, I know, because I have done it. And I can assure you, as you can see from that picture, even though it's a little bit blurry, I'm nobody special or unique. I didn't have any silver spoon in my mouth. I grew up on a farm in Iowa. I'm just a farm kid who grew up in a very average setting, a very average world. I learned how to work really hard. I grew up like so many other kids. I love fishing and sports. You see, I was pretty proud of that catch that day. We had a lot of ponds in the neighborhood. I would go out and fish the neighborhood ponds. And obviously, I should have left my cap on that day, but for the picture, because I obviously have a good case of hat hair going. But I did this. All these things that I just described to you are things that I've been experiencing and that Kary's been experiencing. Okay? And we want to help you experience those things as well. Okay? Running a successful business is hard work. There's no question. Okay? But the people who succeed know they really need three things to get there. They need the best training and systems. Okay? You got to know what the right thing is to do. You got to get the right people around you. You got to get the right information to know that you can make the right decisions so you don't waste time, money, and resources on things that don't work. Okay? You need support. You need the best ongoing support. You need people around you who are able to support you, help you, work with you in your journey to help you make decisions and make changes as the business continues to evolve. And you need to surround yourselves with the right people. Okay? Being an entrepreneur can be a sometimes lonely business. You need to have people around you that are supporting you, that are encouraging you, that are rallying behind you during those times where you need a little support, or you need a little encouragement. It's incredibly important. Okay? So where do you look for help? There's an overwhelming supply of business development courses out there. Trust me. I bought a lot of them. Okay? I know there's an abundance of training courses out there. You can spend thousands of dollars on these courses. You can buy courses on ad campaigns that can cost you $1,000 to $2,000. Copywriting, $1,500 to $3,000. How to generate traffic to your website, another $5,000 to $2,000. How to build sales funnels, another $1,000 to $3,000. Email marketing, how to communicate with your clients on your list, $1,000 to $2,000. How do I know? Because I bought a lot of them. I know these prices are real because, yeah, they've got my money on a whole bunch of them, okay? You can spend a lot of money on doing these things. But the problem is eventually you have questions. And this is where it gets tough on some of these things because you buy these courses, it's a lot of great information, but eventually you have questions and the marketing expert isn't going to help you implement it. Okay, he's going to look at you and just say, no. I sold you the training, I sold you the videos, I sold you the PDFs and the other resources and the worksheets. That's what you bought. You didn't get support from me to implement. If you have questions, I'm sorry, but that's not what I sold you. Okay, you don't get that. So that's where a lot of problem is with the current marketing courses. Or you can be left to hire an expert to help you implement the strategies. Okay, If you do that, that's great. Coaches, business coaches are incredibly helpful. Business coaches are incredibly useful, but the problem is that many of them are also incredibly expensive. At least the ones that are good. They can run $2,000 to $3,000 a month easily. The reason they charge that is they know very much that they're worth it. But for a person starting out, it's very difficult to make that work. It's very difficult to make that jump to there. And if you hire a bad business coach, it can bankrupt you. If you get someone that maybe is cheaper but don't have the success, they do that, it could be even more costly, because these people could give you bad advice, which lead you down bad paths and really, really wreck you, okay? Or the last option is you can attempt to figure it out yourself. You can spend a lot of hours trying to figure out all these things. I've done it. I've been down that path, and I've learned the hard way that you can just sit there and grind on a very slow path to try and figure out how to implement all these things on your own. And you end up having to spend thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours learning, how do I set up a payment system so I can take orders from customers? How do I create an email system and an email provider so that I can send emails out to my clients? How do I build websites? It's a whole other ballpark you have to learn. How do I create ad campaigns to get the word out about all this stuff? You have to learn all these ad platforms. How do you secure your website? Because eventually the jerks of the world decide to jump in and put a lot of really nasty stuff in the middle on your website and hack you. We've had those issues too we've had to fight through. How do you create sales funnels? How do you create a process that leads people down in a good way to be able to go through the process to learn how to join you in your journey? And how do you even write sales copy? Can you write things on your sites that engage with people, that interact with people well, in such a way that people can learn how to develop that relationship with you? And then we even have things going on right now that we're calling the Facebook slap, which there were a lot of Google slaps many years ago. I think we're now seeing our round of Facebook slaps. I've heard things even being said that they're expecting some of the ad costs to rise as much as 100% this year. The issue is when you have an environment, there is so many people wanting to advertise on that platform, the demand is overwhelming, so they're going to raise the rates. If you're not following steps like we outlined here today in the Firestarter Formula, where you're building relationships and you're taking people down this journey, you're going to be staring at one of these very soon. Because the cost to go from cold to sale directly is going to crush people. There are going to be a lot of people, because of that Facebook slap, 6 to 12 months from now are no longer going to be a business. Just watch. Because they don't have a defined process of how to develop a customer relationship, how to build it up, and how to go over a long period of time. Because the cost to do advertising at that front end, to get people engaged with you on the front end, is way less than it is to go straight for a sale. It's way less expensive to do it that way than it is the people that just go and immediately ask for you to buy something without even developing the relationship. There's a lot of people doing it that way. That's why today, because we have a heart, because our goal is to ignite souls. Our goal is to impact the world and to get people excited about doing their life and to live their passion. We're announcing the public launch of Business Academy Elite. We started last fall in October. We launched to a group of our own clients and launched the product and program to them and got a really quite overwhelming response, a positive jumping in and being a part of it, and a lot of great feedback. And now we're rolling it out to the public for the first time starting today. Okay? What is Business Academy Elite? It's a new breed of program that delivers excellence where other programs fall short. What do I mean by that? Okay, we know you need training to do things right. How are you going to do all these things? How are you going to set all this stuff up? How are you going to get through all these things? We know you need training, okay? So we provide you with all sorts of training videos and materials that we are constantly adding to, constantly building. There's a whole library of things that we're constantly giving you to help you build your business. And it's not just experts from one person, not just me. We have a whole bunch. We have Brian Dixon. We have Mike Kim. We have Amy Schmidauer, who's expert at vlogging. We have Kary, we have Dan Miller, we have Joanne Miller, we have Dexter Godfrey, who's a great speaker. We have Jeff Brown, who's a great podcaster. We have Rachel Peterson, who's like social media queen. And many more in the wings that are developing their courses for the program right now, who are going to be providing their specific expertise in training into the programs so that you can get the help from that person who's an expert in that field. That's why we want to give you the best that we can. Some of the topics that we have, if you like the talk today, you can listen to it as many times as you want inside the course. Firestarter Formula is in there, so you can listen to it again and again. If you want to learn from Kary how to attract better clients and more of them, we have that in there. If you want to learn from Mike Kim, who is a branding expert, how to develop your own profitable brand, your personal profitable brand. If you want to learn how to build a customer GPS as to know exactly who your customers are and how to find them, that's what that training will help you do. How do you understand this whole Facebook campaign ad structure? How does it build? How is it all laid out? Go through that in detail. How do you get your first 100 email subscribers? Brian Dixon will show you exactly how to do that. How do you overcome fear and doubt when speaking? Dexter Godfrey is great at training you on how to be a great speaker. How to thrive married to an entrepreneur. This is a mindset training where you learn how to live with the roller coaster of the entrepreneur life. How to create killer ad images. How do you get images that look great, that get people to engage? You go through a whole training on that. How to create lookalike audiences. Again, this is a training on your advertising. How to create audiences that you can market to that makes sense. How to utilize what's called the Facebook Pixel, which is, again, a way to get people to get people from step 1 to 2 to 3 that you can follow. It's a tracking system that you can use inside Facebook to seriously decrease the cost of your advertising. How do you build an audience? How do you build a following online? This is a long training that I did where I really go in deep, deep detail on how do you build a following for yourself online in that world of building your business so that people are paying attention to what you're saying and what you're offering, okay? What do you need to start a podcast? Jeff Brown's got seriously large influencers from all over the world asking to be on his podcast. That's how big it is. He tells you exactly what do you need to start it. How do you create an irresistible offer? This is one of my favorite topics. How do you build an offer that's so irresistible that people just can't say no? They're looking at it going, that would be stupid not to do that. That's ridiculous, okay? How do you create your own VPS, your value proposition statement? Kary does it. If you're struggling to understand exactly how you get started and what the value is that you're offering, great place to start. What is the single biggest mistake every podcaster makes and how to avoid it? I cut that part off because it was getting long. But how do you not make the mistakes? Again, Jeff knows podcasting forward and backward. Hear directly from him on how to do podcasting. And Amy Schmidauer, who's a vlogging expert, is blowing up all over the world with getting asked to speak at all sorts of live events because she's a master vlogger. She knows how to do video online. If you want to learn how to do video online, here's your girl. Okay, Brian Dixon, how to use niches, how to define niches to make a lot of profit in niche markets, and many, many more. We have a lot of courses in development from myself, from Kary, from a lot of other outside people that are in the process of building classes and courses, and we're going to be adding them in all the time. Now, content from other courses eventually grows stale and outdated because eventually the tools, trips, and everything becomes no longer relevant, and it becomes no longer relevant to how you're doing things. We are constantly updating these trainings. We are constantly putting new trainings in, new information in, so that you know that what's in there is relevant. What's in there is important and valuable to you for where you are today. But now, access to training is very important, but so is access to support. Okay? When you're a part of Business Academy Elite, you get weekly business coaching calls. Okay? This is the problem with some of these other courses. This is where they all fall short. You go into a course, you get the training, you get the materials, and then it's see you later. You're on your own. You got to figure it out on your own. We give you every single week. In fact, this afternoon when we're done here, I go back and I do my weekly coaching call with all of our Business Academy Elite clients where we jump on. You literally get to ask me any question you want. Any question that you have related to your business, ask me. Many people are in this room who are in the program already. No, they've been asking me all sorts of things. Sometimes I have to scramble a little bit because I don't know all of the answers, but thankfully I can see some ahead of time and I can research a little bit. But we're here to serve you in your specific situation. So it's not a general training, it's a specific to you in your situation, in your business. So I'm there every single week, all year long, to answer any and every question that you have, and I stay on until every question is answered to make sure that you get everything that you need. And if you can't be on live, you post your questions ahead of time. I will answer them on the call, and you can come back and listen to the answer on the recording, because everything is recorded for you. But I also need to know that community is very important as well. Okay? We have an entire community in the Igniting Souls tribe of entrepreneurs and business owners and authors and speakers who are all building themselves and their businesses and growing out and going out into the world. If you're going to be doing this stuff, you need a community around you who's going to encourage you and support you. If you try and do this on an island, you will quickly become discouraged, you'll quickly become lost and confused, and you'll give up. You need people around you who are going to support you. We have business partnerships that are formed out of this. We have all sorts of things that have happened, joint ventures. So now the last 7 years we've spent, or the last 8 years I guess it's been, it goes fast, Kary. We spent building our own 7-figure business, and now what we really want to do is our dream, our goal is to help all of you start to build yours. Because our goal is to impact lives in the world, not just from what we're doing, but from what we feel that God put on your heart to do. We want to help you build your business. So we're offering today the Be the Fire package, which is the ever-expanding library of courses and materials. You get the whole 12 months of access, which has $3,000 value today, which is only going to go up because we add more and more and more courses in all year long. It's going to be more valuable 12 months from now than it is today. You're going to get weekly coaching calls with me. Any question you have, anything you need help with related to your business, jump on and ask. $12,500 value. You can just call me anytime on that webinar. I do it online on a webinar, so we share screens. If you say, I want you to look at my website and look at what I have on it, we will, in real time, hop over to your website, look at everything that you've done, everything you have on there, answer every question that you have on how to make it better. Okay. We also include a free Spark Day, which is a $997 value. Spark Day is an entire day dedicated to growing your business. Okay? It's a full day training. We're going to give you an entire full day where we go through all sorts of training to help you grow your business. It's the day before the Igniting Souls Conference. Okay? So the Igniting Souls Conference is at the end of October. The Friday before, we're going to do an all-day training for everyone in Business Academy Elite to give them an entire day's worth of training to help them go through their business and help them grow. So we're going to give you clear action steps in a group. I'll be there all day, talking, helping people, trying to get people launched further into their businesses. You get the Igniting Souls tribe around you, which is always a huge value, where you can get a community of people encouraging, supporting you, and partnering with you in all the things that you're doing. We're also throwing in, because we're just crazy people, a ticket to the Igniting Souls Conference. You want to buy a ticket for the Igniting Souls Conference, that's a $497 value by itself, because we want to do everything we can to help you get to where you need. We're throwing in a ticket for free. Okay? So you get to come to the Spark Day on the Friday, and you get a ticket all weekend to the Igniting Souls Conference. We're giving you everything we can so you can hear all the great speakers we have, all the great training and resources from everybody that weekend. You can learn from everyone to be able to grow and do everything you need. And my favorite part, even though it's only a $20 value, we created our own t-shirts. We created a Be the Fire t-shirt because we want people to have something to know that when they're excited, the world should know. Okay? So we'll give everyone who signs up a free t-shirt. And just to give you a real quick recap, the library of all the training courses and materials, which is worth $3,000, the 12 months of weekly coaching calls, $12,500 value, community support, which again, how can you put a price on that? A free Spark Day, which is a $997 value, a ticket to the Igniting Souls Conference, which is a $497 value, and the t-shirt, the Be the Fire t-shirt for $20. So it's all that is over $17,000 worth of value. Okay, there's a tremendous amount of value here. We're giving you everything we could think of, every resource, every tool that we could think of that we could provide you to help you get there, to get everything you need to make your business a success, and not just an idea. To help you launch this, to help you get over to everything you need and want. So out of that, well, you can join today for only either a single payment for 12 months for $19.97, or if you need a monthly payment plan, 3 monthly payments of $6.97, or we just added, if you want to join just on a month-to-month basis, you can join for $197 a month. understand that if you do that, we don't have the ability to give you the conference ticket and the Spark Day because we can't make that one work. That's just if you join for 1 month, join in and adding in the Spark Day and the conference becomes a little untenable. So if you want to do that, awesome. You can do that if you want to try it out on a month-to-month basis to give it a shot. You can do so for $197 a month ongoing. Okay? Now, we have a few people, if you want to hear a little bit about what other people have to say, or Kary wanted to come up and talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
But,
well, first of all, I learned a lot. Erica has my phone and my laptop's here, so I couldn't be distracted. So I had to sit there and listen. And I learned a ton. It was fantastic. Stand over here. Fantastic. All right. So for years, as I mentioned, people, Rick, you remember these days, people would come up after the Igniting Souls Fellowship and say, I need my David. I need a David. And I was kind of like, hey, all right, I got my wife. She's my spouse, but don't touch David. All right? Because our business was dependent. You know, how many of you are content creators? In other words, you're kind of like the author, the speaker, the coach. You're the front man or woman for your job. Raise your hand. Anybody? How many of you are more wired like David, where you're kind of like the behind-the-scenes structure systems person, tech? Is that anybody? Okay, so we got 2 of you. Fantastic. Either way, Business Academy Elite's going to help you guys to actually take it to the next level. But for people, the rest of us, that's what I needed. Because Sue Porter in the back, good to see you, first time you're here, welcome. Susan, welcome as well. I was your what for yours? Pastor. I was your pastor. So again, folks, I went to school, bachelor's, master's, doctorate, to be a nonprofit leader. I mean, that was my calling in life. Some people say I'm still a pastor. But the point is that I felt the knock on the door of my heart years ago to say, you know what? You're a content creator. You want to ignite souls. You want to write, coach, and speak. But you want to take that to the world and not just the 4 walls of a local church. Not that it was bad. I hated to leave because I love the people and I love the staff. And even today, you know, I still talk with them. I met Pastor Ed 2 days ago again just to see him. But so it was tough. It was tough to leave, but I knew that that was my calling. Like, how many of you know that you're supposed to do something big? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Come on now. All right, so if you didn't raise your hand, I'm assuming that you're supposed to do something small, right? I mean, seriously, I just said, how many of you are supposed to do something big? Most of you raised your hand, so I'm assuming that if you didn't, maybe you're supposed to help someone do something big, right? But the point is this, I knew I couldn't get there. And thankfully, God was way smarter than me, that David and I met. You remember how we met? I don't know, he was a tall dude and a stranger, and I'd like to talk to strangers, even though, by the way, isn't that funny that you grew up, think about this, you grew up with your parents telling you, don't talk to and don't ask people for money. And yet in business, who are you supposed to talk to? And who are you supposed to ask people for what? You see what I'm saying? You see why some of us have a hard time in business? Because we're taught, you know, don't talk to strangers and don't ask people for money. Well, I don't believe in strangers. I just believe in friends that we haven't met yet, right? That's a good mindset. But I also believe that I'd never have to ask people for money. If you serve people, as David taught, that was what I loved. Remember his little chart? Wasn't that cool how it started with 0 price? How much did you guys pay for admission today? 0. Miranda, when I spoke on Saturday at your awesome event, how much did people have to pay to get it? 0. Yet how many people joined at the end? 50 people out of 100, right? The point is this, guys. If you serve people, right? If you serve people, not all the time, but if you serve people and you truly give them value, you give them your best, I believe people sense that. They feel that. And they say that, well, gee, if it was that helpful, as David said, I want more. So the point is this today. We are publicly offering Business Academy Elite. We're not twisting your arm. You don't have to do it. But Laura had a daughter who died. She's from Wisconsin. She had a daughter who died, went through horrible grief, and at the end, she said, you know what? God wants me to start a ministry to help other parents who've lost their children. And by the way, do you think we know some in this area? I mean, right? I just saw someone on Tuesday, you mentioned dentist. My dentist's assistant just lost their son in a car crash. Like, this happens. And when this happens, what do? Well, Laura didn't know what to do. So Laura joined Business Academy Elite, and she says that my husband and I have been floundering, trying to figure out how to have a business side to support our ministry. We've now gone through several Business Academy Elite trainings, but after just the first 2, we had more insight, direction, and vision for moving forward in a doable and makes sense way, more than we have in the past 2 years. We are now excitedly moving full speed and taking effective action. We are so thankful for Kary and David. Here's the point. Laura has been invited to Washington, D.C., and she spoke for a national grieving parents summit that, I don't know, the government put on. The point is this: her ministry's growing. The area of her deepest pain and wound is now the area of her biggest contribution for the world. Some of you might want to write that down. The area where God has allowed pain in your life many times becomes the area of your biggest contribution for others. She needed the tools that Business Academy Elite provided. Now, David, when you came to me a few years ago and you said, I think we should do something, we didn't know what the name was, but you said, I think we should do something to help other people in their business. And you know what my answer was? Not that he needs to listen to me, but what was my answer? No, we're not ready. I knew that there were a lot of gaps in our business that even though we were experiencing success, we needed systems and processes before David was going to go focus on investing in other people's businesses. And so what did we do? How many freelancers and team members do we have now? We essentially quadrupled our team, and you guys know this, you know. Erica's in the front, right? We have Tanisha. We have all kinds of fantastic people. I don't want to start naming names because I might forget one. But the point is this, like, we actually put infrastructure in place so that David can do business coaching for you guys. And I know personally, why am I so passionate about this? Because I would still be where I am today, Sue, which is trying to be an active pastor on staff, a present father, an engaged husband, and doing a part-time thing. You can't do that for too long. And I knew that, and I was feeling the pull. And thankfully, I met David, and he helped me. Mary Valloni. Mary Valloni makes $10,000 plus per month, okay? Google her. She's in Missouri, okay? St. Louis, Missouri. Look up Mary Valloni. What's her book name again?
Fundraising Freedom.
What is it?
Fundraising Freedom.
Fundraising Freedom, exactly. Again, heart to serve people. Her job is to help nonprofits raise money. Do you think that's important? Do you think nonprofits do anything in the world today? But she was tapped out. She was giving every hour of every day to her clients. And she said, I need to take this business to make it scalable. Well, guess what? Today she's got all kinds of programs and processes and systems. She's got a podcast, right? She's got a newsletter. She's got a mastermind group. She's got all kinds of things. And here's what she said. This is funny. She says, hey, Tribe, I want to give a shout out to David. I just went through the first training module in Business Academy Elite, building your customer GPS, and it is really good. I'll be honest, I signed up for BAE solely to hang out with David. So I don't know. You must have a nice thing about you. But as always, you guys over-delivered. I started my business 3 years ago, and sometimes I think we're attracting the right person. But through the training, now I know exactly who my customer is. I'm so excited to jump in through the other modules. So these are people, again, we privately launched it just to our clients last year at the Ignited Souls Conference 17 in October. We had 100 spots that we were going to give, remember? 50 and 50. And did we go over?
We went over.
We went over. So there was a line out the back. I mean, this is legit, right? And Here's another one, an author. Okay, this is Michelle, Gold, Pure Gold. I have taken many Facebook classes to learn how to place ads, but you take the prize. I hate Facebook ads. I hate all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just give me a book to write. That's where I like. Give me an audience. I like to speak. But there's this other side of the business that we need. And Michelle says, I went through it. You were so patient. I guess you're patient. Good for you. Thank you. You walked through on how to create an audience and how to create the whole ad set, and it was amazing. So again, this isn't like David just says, watch the training. He literally looks at your website, looks at your Facebook ad set on the coaching calls, and says, look, your word is wrong here. That's why you're not getting a return on your investment with your Facebook ad. That's powerful. Isn't that powerful? That's customized coaching. And we have Catherine here, who I'm going to interview tonight, a total game changer, just to shout it out to the Pixel training. If you are not, have you ever gone on a website and you looked at Amazon for something, and then you go on a completely different website and that product's in the corner, and it's following you along the internet? Have you ever bought something on a second time because of that? Because it followed you? Some people are like, I hate it, I want to shoot it. Other people say, yeah, I did, because I'd forgotten that I looked for it. Folks, if people know these tools and you don't, they're going to outlap you every time in the business world. David teaches you how to do this stuff. It's almost like going up to the batter's box instead of with a wiffle ball bat. Because some of us are trying so hard. That was me for years. I'm trying to slam it over the fence, but I have a wiffle ball bat. David in Business Academy Elite, which he likes baseball, I don't, but it's all good. He gives you a bat that you can crank that thing over. Here's people who've ranked the course. Deborah Major, 5 out of 5. Martin Wood, 5 out of 5. Laura, 5 out of 5. People have been asking us. Here's one, Shakita. She just posted the other day because she keeps hearing about it. How do I become a Business Academy Elite student and get on these calls? I want to learn more information on marketing. We said, sorry, Shakita, you can't do it until today. So I just want to encourage you guys, if you want today, that's fantastic. Rick, we have something here in the front row. I know some people are already students, but can you pass it out, Rick? If people want. If you don't want it, that's cool. If you do want it, and if you're online, Erica's going to give you the link as well. We're going to do some Q&A here in a moment. Today was the tip of the iceberg. This was one module training, partially, of what is a library of resources. To really get the next step, that is what requires a process. There's a big difference between events and processes. The best thing we could do today for you guys with events is to encourage a decision in your life or motivate you. You made it a calendar issue today, and you know what? We can challenge you. This is like if you work out once a year. And Susan Zardman, I always love your health coaching stuff. I see it on Facebook. How much weight did you lose?
137 pounds.
137 pounds. First time I saw her in a long time, I didn't even recognize it. I'm like, who are you? Right? But listen, you know that people can't just eat right once for the year. Sometimes I try to do that and be healthy, right? It's a process. Business Academy Elite is a process. It encourages development. It's a maturity thing. It's going to mature you. It's a culture thing, and it changes you. So we're going to do a little bit of Q&A here in just a moment because we're going to take 8 minutes of questions from the online group or from you guys. And this could be questions about the program, or you could just say, you know what, Kary, I got a business question about my business, and I want to ask you that question. David, same thing. They might want to ask you a question. So who has a question? Anybody has a question about today's training, about the Firestarter Formula, about Business Academy Elite? Anybody have a question? Anything's fair game. And Eric, I encourage people to type in if they have a question as well. So Jeff, I'm going to pick on you, man. I'm going to just start. Listen, if you don't ask questions, I'm going to ask you guys questions. I'm going to pick on you. So you better think of a dumb question to ask me, right? Now, Jeff, I see that you just launched a blogging course, correct?
Yes, it launches at the end of the month.
Fantastic. Why? Because I stalked you guys, right? Now, Facebook decides, hey, Jeff and I are friends. Facebook's going to show me what Jeff's working on. I think it's great. Did you learn anything today that's going to help you either set that up better with a spark or have a blaze? Because to me it sounded like a core offer. Based on David's teaching, your blogging course is your core offer. Do you have more clarity today about the sparks that you might need, or the blaze?
So actually I have 3 or 4 videos already to go.
I love it.
So it's going to be more of I'm going to take pieces of the course and
Excellent.
provide value there.
Excellent.
So today was just a reaffirmation of things, because this is what I do. I'm in marketing, so everything you shared.
I love it.
It's just one of those, do what you tell other
Exactly.
people to do yourself.
Now we know sometimes that doesn't happen. That's why the cobbler shoe illustration, right? With the kids who have no shoes and they're the cobbler's, kids. Why? Because many times we tell other people to do something, but when it comes to it, are we doing it ourselves? And, I would encourage you, have a blaze offer, afterwards for your students. Renee, you have a question.
So one thing that I'm doing in the works is for Spark is to do interviews on Be Live with Facebook and all of that, live interviews with other people who have struggled with comparison in some way, which would be everybody. But my plan is in order to really harness the audience, is to work with other business owners especially that have something that they want to offer as well. So it just came to mind, even with Susan. If Susan would come on and I would interview her, it would be highlighting what I'm doing with comparison with my book. But then also I could highlight the fact that, she is a health coach. Look how, in comparison where she's gone.
Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions on how to best utilize that and how to make sure, what would a good call to action be?
Yeah, absolutely. So what Renee just shared is really smart. She's in our program, Author Academy Elite over here. So she's writing her book. But she says that she's going to interview people. Now, first of all, as an Author Academy Elite student, we give you a release form, which is great. Because anytime you interview someone in your book, you're going to want them to sign that. Because if the book takes off and goes super well, which it will, they may say, well, it went well because of my little 500-word interview, and so I want 50% of your profits. By giving you that release form, which is lawyer approved, you can actually have people sign that ahead of time. And it's very fun and upbeat. And it just says, hey, I know Renee's writing a book. I know she's interviewing me for this. And I know I'm not getting compensated for it. But there's little things like that that legally you need to do. But what could be a great win-win for Susan and you is if Susan creates a custom link. Okay? And what's your website, Susan?
GetHealthyWithZ.com.
And then what she would do is put /comparison. And what that would do is it would track anyone who reads your book and finds her story as a result, gets a custom link, and David teaches you how to do this in Business Academy Elite, then you would get profits from it. So in other words, it's a win-win. Do you guys see this? I know Renee has a good heart, but she also wants to increase her influence, impact, and income. And if she doesn't, I want her to, okay? So what she should do is she should say, Susan, I'm going to promote you and your story and your business through this book. And as a result, can you create a custom URL, and any traffic that gets brought to your page because of the book, they actually get a commission back to Renee. You see that? You see how that's a win-win for Susan and a win-win for Renee? You guys see that? Or is that too tricky? You got it? You're like, dude, that's stupid. It's so dumb, right? No, it's too simple. But you see the point there? So that's what I would do. Here's the other cool thing. Anytime you write a book with 10 or 5 interviews or 20, do you think these people have circles of influence? What do we call that? It starts with a P, and I'm standing on one. Platform. Susan has a platform. Your other interviewers have a platform. A platform is the ability to be seen and heard. So what you can do is you can say, hey, when this book comes out, I'm going to give you a digital press kit. And I'd love for you to promote the book as well. Do you think if someone is interviewed in the book and their story's featured, do you think they want that book to do well? It's a very smart marketing strategy, Renee. That now 20 other people, when your book launches, because they have a little ownership in your book, they'll want to promote it. And this doesn't have to happen formally. It's goodwill, like David taught. Anything you want to add to any of those things?
No, I think that would be pretty much what I would advise her to do as well.
Yeah. Great question. Love it. Anybody else have any questions, comments? Erica, anybody from the crowd that has any questions online as well?
Bob Faby asked what makes offers irresistible. What makes
offers irresistible? I watched your talk a few times, and I love too. Can you talk about scarcity and urgency?
I identified 10 elements that go into making an offer really irresistible, that really make it so that people can't, they look at it and go, this is crazy not to do this, okay? Two of the most powerful ones, just to hit those, are scarcity and urgency. Is that you can have a great product, a great service, a great whatever out there, but if there's an unlimited supply of them and there's no urgency to buy today versus waiting 6 weeks or 6 months, they'll kick the can down the road and say, I'll do it later. Two very important things that you have to have in every offer that you make is you can do scarcity, which a way to use scarcity ethically is to say, if you join my program, if you join my course today, I will throw in this bonus. But to get this bonus, you have to join by this date. Okay? So that's a way to use scarcity in a program or a product or service. Throw in something for a limited time or offer a discount for a limited time. Urgency is to put deadlines on things. You have to be able to say that if you don't act by this day, the offer is over. It's gone.
Or it's more money.
Or this offer that I've made is gone. And so, yeah, that's very important as well. You gotta provide, you as the business owner have to provide reasons for the customer to move today. Give them the reason. Show them why it's important to move today.
So on that point, do you guys think we use scarcity and urgency with the offer today? You ready for it? Right? I mean, you got to practice what you preach, right? So we have Business Academy Elite open now, and this is not open all year round. In other words, we close it, I believe, Sunday night at midnight Pacific. So it's Wednesday today. I don't know when you're watching this, if you're watching the replay. But if you try to enter on Monday morning, you can't. It's done. And it's done for many months. And so you might say, well, gee, that's not fair. Well, you know why? Because David is focusing on the current clients. He's going to be coaching them. And we don't want newbies to come in all the time because he's going to give his best heart to the new people who join. So that is the urgency. The scarcity is that we have created a fantastic bonus. It's a special live stream that we recorded where it's our conference team. Literally the bonus is called How to Create Your Own Live Event with a Team Full of Rock Stars. And we have some people in the room who actually are part of our team who were on that. And wasn't that fun to do? And we went around and said, look, when you create your own live event, what things do you need to do so that it becomes an irresistible event and a killer event? And so that bonus is only for this group of people as well. So that's it for today. I had a blast. We're going to stick around and talk with you guys some more, ask questions, answer questions. But thanks for coming. You want to say one more thing? Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, this is my heart. Everyone has certain things that are on their heart in their life that they feel called to do. Okay, every one of you has something that you feel like this is the thing that the reason God put you here. This is why you're walking on this earth, that you are here to do this, to impact the world in this way. It took me a long time to sort through a lot of those things, but I realized a while ago that my mission here is to help other people launch their businesses and get them successful and get them running. I am a total business and marketing nerd. If you look at my phone, you would just shake your head because it's all sorts of trainings on all sorts of really technical and obtuse marketing things that I'm looking at. And I'm getting all excited and I have no one to share it with because I look at my wife and she just says, you're weird. Why are you so excited about a chatbot? What is even a chatbot? I don't know what you're talking about. But I get so amped up and excited. This is my heart. I love this stuff. Okay, I love it. I love helping people get launched. I love people getting off the ground. I've been asked by multi-million-dollar businesses now to come help them with their business. Okay, they have come to me. They've started asking me if I will work with them. This is my heart. I want to work with all of you because this is what I love seeing. I love seeing people blossom and grow and impact and take what they've been given and turn it into something real, okay? I do that. This is why I spend sometimes 3 hours on a Wednesday afternoon on a call, and people are like, you're just as excited at the end as you were at the beginning. And I'm like, yeah, well, this is kind of my thing. You know, I've yet to see a business question that doesn't get me excited and like, oh, let's figure it out. Let's do it. Let's make it work. This is my heart, is to see all of you launched and going. We are closing it on Sunday night because we do, like I said, when we launched it, we got more than we thought we were going to get. We thought we'd get 100 and we went over 100, and it is a lot of work because I work my butt off to support everyone in that group. Any question that I can help with, any way I can serve, any way that I can push you forward down the path, I do it. Okay, I do everything I can to help you. And I look at this as, I know what if you're serious about doing this, if you're serious about taking your business, about doing things, about going things, this is the best offer on the planet. I know in my heart it is, because I've paid tens and tens of thousands of dollars for courses, tens and tens of thousands of dollars for training and help and other things. You're going to leverage all the stuff that I've learned, all this stuff that I've been investing my tail off in, all these programs, courses, and trainings, and they're not supporting me. I'm gathering everything I can because I'm such a geek about this stuff, and I'm going to share it and help you take that journey for yourself. So you have my heart, you have my commitment. I'm going to be with you all the way, and I hope I get to work with you. But we do have, because it is a lot of work to support, because it is a lot of effort to help people get launched, we're only going to open it for a few days. And so between now and Sunday, if you want to jump in, here's your window. Then we're going to close it, and I'm going to be focused on creating more trainings, creating more support for people, helping people, working with them individually, and getting them where they need to go to be successful. So if you want to jump in, we've had a lot of people be asking, here's your window, here's your shot.
Cool. Erica's going to give away everybody online that gift as well. She's going to share that link. It's a new ebook we created called the Firestarter Formula. We'll email it to all of you guys as long as you registered. If you didn't register, write your email down and we'll send it to you as well. I'll close with this. The word, I like words. So you like business, I like words. I just learned the other day that entrepreneur, and I shared this with Miranda, it means bearer of risk. Is that cool? Entrepreneur, bearer of risk, risk bearer. This program is one to help alleviate that risk. It's to say, I'm not going at it alone, me against the world. I have a whole tribe behind me that's going to help, and a business coach that has proven results. So I think it's exciting, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you in March at the Igniting Souls Fellowship, and take care, everybody. Thanks. All right.